You ready?
I'm ready.
Hey, welcome, y'all. Welcome back to the Anomaly Podcast, bro. This is the last episode,
The last one for the season.
Episode 8 for season 1, bro.
Is
We've come a
episode
long
8?
way.
Oh, I thought it was 7.
Well, I mean, technically 8. Wait, you know, the
I've been
part
lost
1s and the
episode.
part
That is
2s
true.
and all that stuff.
That is true.
Yeah,
That's true.
episode
Y'all
8,
know what I like to do, though. That's good and all, but I want to welcome all the athletes, the non-athletes, the believers, the unbelievers. If it's your first time here, we want to welcome you.
We welcome y'all, bro.
We want to welcome him. I'm Avery Jackson, and this is Daniel Roberts. If you don't know him, what a guy. What a guy. I'm just going to leave it at that. Just look him up. Google him.
Anyways, we are here, bro. We are here. We ain't gonna do that again, bro.
Google him.
We here, and we are talking about how to lead our team.
How can I lead my team?
How can we lead our team, bro?
How can we lead my team? So the cool part about this, and it's like we got a lot of perspectives.
Yeah, for sure.
We have me being a coach and trainer, that you have that perspective. You have like a current
the athlete type
perspective. And then, I mean, if you know anything about track, it's like track, you're on a team, but in a nutshell, it's still an individual, unless you're doing a relay or something like that.
Yeah.
But like basketball, it's like, man, you have a team, you know?
Yeah.
So
I guess this probably would be more catered to like actual team sports.
Yeah, right.
But
I mean, you can still speak to like, I mean, you still have, because I came to one of your training, like you still have people that you're training with and you're working out with and stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
So like there's some gyms that, you know, that can be there for that. So let's go ahead. Where do we want to start? Let's start off with like your experience, I guess, of like, you know, how you led your team or like what made you step into that role or something like that.
Honestly, for me, bro, as y'all know, I do track and field, so that's individual.
I told you, Google him. If you Google him, he does track and field. I'm sorry.
But like prior to professional life and college life, I did a lot of team sports in like high school, middle school coming up. Yeah. So for me, and I was never like the vocal leader type person that's gonna like rah like pregame speech. Like I'm not doing none of that. Like I'm just locked in my head. I'm getting right, and I'm just gonna do what I need to do, and hopefully my team sees that. Like we were saying, I was more of a like lead by example type of dude for sure. Yeah.
I was definitely that too. I'm not gonna lie to you. When dudes gave the rah joint, sometimes I would just be spitting on the back, and I'd just be like, "All right, man, we get it." But then, I feel like there are some people though. Some people need that. But then there are some people though that are actually legit
good at it too. They're really just natural with it.
Yeah, they're
that is
natural.
True. That was true. What was I about to say? Oh, for me, early on, like I said, lead by example type of dude. But it wasn't until I think my junior year of high school when I kind of got forced into a road of actual like leadership. I was the quarterback of my team, football team, for junior and senior year.
Yeah, quarterback.
And I feel like being a quarterback, like you have to have some type of vocal leadership for your team, along with the leading by example. But that was purely like I had to, like the team needed me to be that in order to do anything. So I feel like that was a little different, but it was different for me just not being used to it and then having to step into that arena for sure. But I don't know. I feel like leadership in that way, when it comes to like being that vocal person, it takes a lot more than people think. It's not just a title. Like you gotta really, like you were saying before, really care about the success of your teammates. Yeah. Now that you hit more on that, but like you gotta really have a heart of like serving everybody else.
Yeah. I was, and to piggyback, when I played basketball, I wasn't forced into no role. Like I said, I was that lead by example. Yeah. And like my thing was, it was kind of a cool moment. Like I was playing basketball, playing hard and stuff like that. And like, because I was working so hard, like the coach realized that. And like he came in at halftime, it was like, dang, anybody gonna help Avery out? Like y'all see him working down here. So that was like a cool moment of like, okay, like, you know, because sometimes
they see me put in the work.
Yeah. Now, that's not to say I didn't talk to my teammates and be like, hey, you know, we have different stuff. Like, you know, hey, do this off the pick and roll, or like when you come, like people are helping, I'm right there. You know what I'm saying? Like you have that stuff, but like I wasn't really like that. I don't even know, to be honest with you, I don't even know if I went to the circle, like to dap up the other teammates.
Like, yeah.
Or like
so
the
you
other,
like
the
wasn't
other team.
You wasn't like an actual like captain or
I wasn't a captain, but like but the thing is like everybody, like
you were still a leader.
I was still a leader. Yeah. So I guess that's I mean that's a good segue.
Like that's good to like make that distinction, because not everybody that is the captain of the team is always the leader.
Right.
That makes sense.
Right. Now, there's some times where it does go hand in hand. But I mean, in my experience, sometimes the people that are the captains, it's like, man, there's a dude over here that's like that's a better leader. Like he's galvanizing the people he cares about. He's serving up, like you know, like he ain't got the captain badge though. You know, or something like that. So, but like I think, man, it reminds me. It's crazy you mentioned this. Like it reminds me of like the gospel, and like as a believer. It's like, man, you want to walk in a manner that's honoring and glorifying to God, but then it's like, man, if you want to share the gospel, like some people, they're like, oh, I'm sharing the gospel because I'm living it out. But then it's like, man, at a certain point in time,
that's one part of it.
Yeah, it's one part of it, but at a certain point in time, you have to use that voice. You have to use, you know, you have to say something.
You got to start a podcast.
You got
But nah, for real, like you gotta for real, like
you have to take that next step. You know, because then if you the other side of it is if you are just saying a whole bunch of stuff, but then your actions don't reflect it.
Yeah, true.
Then it's like
I didn't think about that.
That don't even something's not adding up. You know, so it's like me personally, I love the relationship part. Like I think if you really want to lead your team, if you really want to like step into that leadership role, man, I think relationships are so big where it's like, man, before I tell, like, for instance, if me and Daniel are on a team, and like, which, I mean, we kind of are on a team with this podcast. But like, before I tell Daniel like a constructive criticism or something like that, like, I need to know that, like, I mean, you need to know that I genuinely care about your success. And I really want you to be good. More than me. You know? So I think like, and that goes like, man, how can I serve Daniel? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I serve you? Like, you know, if it's like getting you water while you're sitting, like, I'm gonna serve you. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I want to lay my life down so you know that I genuinely care about you. Because then there's going to be a certain point in time in competition where I'm like, hey, man, like, I got to say something to get on you. And now your reaction isn't like, oh, man, like, I forget him. But it's going to hit you a little bit different because, like, man, he genuinely cares about me. You know? So sure. I think, like, a step, if you really want to lead your team, if you really are like, if you want to be in that role, or if you're forced into that role, I would just sit there and say, like, man, like try to take steps to show that you genuinely care about your teammates.
About your teammates, for sure.
You know, and how you can serve and love on them. Just
and not even just the teammates. I feel like letting it be clear that you genuinely care about the success of the team.
Yes.
Because sometimes it can be easy if you're sometimes like you're saying, I got forced into that situation because. Like, I was the best player on the team, bro. Like, it was needed. So sometimes if you are in that situation, like, maybe you are clearly the best player. But letting the team see, like, you go hard for a rebound or, like, diving for a loose ball instead of just, like, standing waiting for an open three to get the points. You know what I'm saying? Like, letting them see you care about the success of the team, not just the stats, the highlights type thing.
Like, he's doing, like, this person's doing all the stuff that doesn't show up.
Exactly, You
know? Exactly. And like some people, and it's good, it's great. Like some people, like they sit there and say, "Oh, you know, the leaders, they're the first one to show up, the last one to leave," and it's like some of that is true.
Can be,
But it's like, man, sometimes I'm not the first one. Like, you know, you don't have to be the first one to show up. You don't have to be the last one to leave. Now,
does that help?
Does it help? Yes. But then it's like it's different things of like, you know, we mentioned it. We talked about off camera. It's like, man, you know, cleaning up the locker room.
Yeah, true.
Like just doing the small things. Like we talk like, okay, somebody is you know 15 minutes before practice, and I realize we have 15 people on our team, and there's only 13 people, or let's just say 14. There's only 14 people there. Before coach even noticed that somebody's missing, you've already noticed that somebody's missing.
Yeah.
And now in that 15 minutes, you know, I'm trying to figure out where you're at, like what's going on. That way when the coach asks, like, hey, where's so-and-so, I either got an answer or like the player's already there before coach even realized. It's just like the small things like that where you genuinely care about other people's success, other people's well-being. Yeah. That will give you that, I don't want to say it's manipulative, but it's like it gives you that edge. Yeah. To like, man, for sure. I'm gonna listen to this person because he genuinely cares about my success over his own. You know,
I think along with the relationship side of it, it matters to have a passion for the game. Yeah. For whatever it is you're doing, like as far as you being a leader, even if you're not an athlete, if you're in the workforce, the job, having the passion for what you're doing, like, and people will see that. Because what came to my mind, like seeing Tim Tebow, like that was one of my favorite players growing up. Just you can see his passion for the game, every time he played. Like no matter if he was talking to his teammates or not, you could see it in his face.
He gonna lay his life down for that game.
Exactly. By the way he played, you can see the passion. Like you didn't have to ask no questions if he wants to be there. Yeah. Like you could tell. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that alone, like you were saying about the old dude you brought up, I'll let you tell that story. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, just the like seeing how people play, seeing how people respond to their teammates, like just seeing that. Not even, I mean, I guess that can be tied into being more the vocal leader, but just seeing that piece of it, not even them saying a word alone can be huge.
Yeah, before I tell that story that Dan was mentioning, it like the passage, it was crazy because I was sitting here thinking, I was like, man, full transparency, I was like, man, I have a passage. And I was like, man, I feel so confident about it, but I completely forgot what it was. But then when we were talking about, you know, the episode and what's going to be about, it just came to my mind. So we're here. I'm glad I found it. But it's Philippians. And what I like about it, it's not a popular, like it's really not a popular one. Like, you know, when I say Philippians.
About, bro, like it wouldn't be, like, come on now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
it ain't, you know, everybody.
It ain't Philippians 4:13. That's for sure. It's not that type of.
Yeah,
it's not that type of verse.
It's Philippians 2, verses 3 through 4, and I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna tell you the story, which I think it just goes hand in hand. But it says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility consider others as more important than yourselves. Everyone should look out not only for his own interests, but also for the interests of others." And I think that's kind of like what we're talking about like, man, I want you, like, I'm just basketball terms. It's like, cause this is how it was kind of in basketball. Yeah. Like I love getting assists. Yeah. It wasn't like I love getting assists because it gave me a stat. It was because, man, I wanted to see that shot go in for my teammate. Yeah. You know, now, do I get a stat for that? Do you get some oohs and ahs and it make you feel good? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, we're human. Yeah. You know, but it was like I genuinely wanted the success of my teammates, you know, so it's like I would much rather I want to see them succeed so much. Yeah. That it's kind of like, hey, you know, you got to score too. Yeah, true. You know, you have to do, you know, there's another side of the coin though where it's like, all right, you still have to, you know, like the pastor said, you still have to do what's like in your interest as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but it's like, man, I'm thinking about that person first.
Also do their interests as well. Yeah.
You know, so the story, shout out to Daniel, not this Daniel. Not me. There's another Daniel. He told me the story. So his brother, he used to work at the Houston Texans. I'm hoping we can have him on because dude,
that'd be cool, bro. Season 2, we definitely gonna try to have some guests on here.
We hope to get you on. But no, he was telling, like, so this was through, his name is Dylan. Dylan told Daniel, and then Daniel was like telling me, but like Will Anderson Jr., like when he was a rookie, he came to the Texans, and during practice he wasn't getting a lot of reps and stuff like that. But he was genuinely excited when his teammates made a play. Like he wasn't getting reps, but he was on the sideline. He was the biggest cheerleader for his teammates. And like people just recognize that. So then when he started getting reps, when Will started getting reps, everybody, like, they realized, like, man, this dude was genuinely happy for us. Like he's getting no reps. Yeah. He's genuinely happy for all of us. And the culture just completely shifts on defense because when he made a play, everybody celebrated. Yeah. Or like when somebody made a play, everybody celebrated. And it's like, man, because he wanted the success of his teammates so much and was genuine about it. Yeah. Like it just changed the culture. Yeah. And next thing you know, like, I mean, he has the captain badge now. Like he's like the head person on that defense, and like just he's a leader. Yeah.
And
he's
the thing is, it don't take like being great at pregame speeches or anything like that to get to that point. All that was passion for the game, genuine care about his teammates and their success, and that alone like changed the whole culture of the team.
Changed the whole culture.
Just like that.
You know, so that's where it's like but because everybody thinks too is like, oh, the best player has to be the leader. Yeah. That's not the case. Not the case. You know, you could be the eighth man like if basketball team, obviously there's not a lot of people on the team. Like you could be the eighth man and still be the leader. You could still be a culture changer. Yeah, you know, you can be. I don't know how it is on track, but like you could not be running in the main heat, but you can still be. But like that, you can still set the tone. For what the team is gonna do. Yeah, it's just like, man, you want the success, like you, and like we hitting on a lot. It's so relational. Yeah, like leaders are so relational where it's like, man, like I want to run through a brick wall for that person. Exactly. And because I know. The point you were talking about, I know he's gonna run through a brick wall for me.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
100%.
So I just think that relationship part, it's like, man, you know, and we go back to the question, like, how do I lead my team? Like, I want to ask you, do you genuinely care about the people on your team? Yeah. Do you genuinely care about the coach? Yeah. You know, start there first. Yeah.
Those are two very important questions. If you want to be a leader, because a lot of people, they may say they want to be the leader, but they just want the platform, or they just want the title of captain or leader of the team or quarterback at that point.
So you got to be real with yourself sometimes.
You got to be real. If that's genuinely in your heart, like to lead the team, because leadership looks a lot different than a lot of people think. Yeah, it's a lot more serving than it is glory a lot of times. You know what I'm
saying? And two, I mean, let's not get it. Yes, when you win, you get high praise. But also, when you lose,
it's on you.
Everything falls on you. So it's like it's so much responsibility that comes with it. Yeah. Where it's like, okay, you know, I love that. Like you say you want to be a leader, but like, do you know all that comes in store with it? Do you know all that comes with it? Yeah. It's easy to see all the good stuff that comes.
It's easy to see, and the good stuff is good. Like not to say that it's not good. Like when you're a leader and your team is doing successful, 100%. Like a lot of times that is because of you. Like not to make it like selfish or prideful at that point, but like a lot of times the success of a team is you can look at the leaders of that team and see if it's going to be successful. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Man, they have a culture.
They got a culture.
And they have I see.
Exactly. You understand.
That player right there is the one. Yeah. He's galvanizing people. And that made like going like on the coaching side of it, like it's like, man, you want your leader to be an extension of the coach. Yeah. You want the leader to be an extension of like, you know, your boss or just, you know, whatever it is. That way your coach can sit there and go like, man, I'm going to pour into this person because I know they catch the vision. They catch the goals. They know what hard work is. And they're not going to cut
corners. They're going to hold everybody accountable. Those type of things. Like they're going to be me when I'm not there.
Yeah. Like, do you make your coach's job easier?
Yeah.
Like if you want to lead your team, do you make your coach's job easier?
Easier or harder?
Yeah.
If you're making it harder.
If you're making it harder, you might not be the leader. You might not be the leader that people want.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're making it easier, like, because I sit there and think about it, it's like, man, if you're playing on my team and I know you're the guy, you're the leader, like I can sit back and go like, man, I can sit here and chill because I know I trust Daniel so much. He's going to galvanize the team. He's going to hold everybody accountable. He's going to hold himself to a high standard. Yeah. He's not going to cut corners. Yeah. And like he's going to demand greatness out of everybody because he demands greatness for himself. Yep. And then like as a coach, I could just sit back and be like, we're just a well-oiled machine. Hey coach, like what's going on with your team? Like, hey, this guy right here. Yeah. He's a difference maker.
And that's something you can't teach that, bro. Nah, you can't coach that. Like, those are people that coaches. You can develop it. You can get better at it. But those are the type of people that coaches love to have in their team. Even if you aren't the person that got the highest scoring average or you 100%. Run the fastest time, a team, like for team sports specifically, if a coach can see that through film, you can get you a scholarship from me.
Right.
I don't care if you half the size of a normal linebacker or what it is. If you can lead a team like that, that's always needed.
Yeah, galvanizing people and like, man, I want to, like, I'm gonna play my heart out because he's playing his heart out, and it goes back to what we were saying.
Yeah,
like it's just like it's important.
Yeah,
you know. It is. So it's like that's like the coaching side of it. Is like, man, if you want to lead a team, like, how do I? It's like relationships important. You know, you gotta
but
the people on your teams gotta like you.
They gotta know that you care.
They gotta know that you care.
Trying to
you gotta, like Daniel was saying, you gotta have a passion for the game.
Yeah,
gotta have a passion for the game, and then it's just like, man, do you make everyone's life easier?
Yeah. Do
you genuinely care enough to, like, man, I want to make his life easier. I want to make his life easier. I want to make coach's life easier. I want to make all these, like, I just go back to it's like it's an act of service.
Yeah,
leadership is an act of service.
Yeah,
because exactly the reason why is because we have a leader that has done that for us.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll let you preach on who that is.
Before we get there, we'll bounce back to that real quick. But I want to hit on, I guess, kind of my view of it.
Yeah.
It being more in a individualized sport now,
That's good.
But also just in general. When I read the title for this episode today and was thinking about it throughout the day, what came to me was like exactly what this podcast is about, bro. Like, just be the anomaly, like, for real. Like, all the episodes that we've talked about, every single thing, living life a way that's different than the norm. When you see that, people are going to be drawn to that.
Yeah. Because
it's not normal. Like,
that's good.
To them, it's like, oh my gosh, who is this? Like, what are they doing differently that I'm not doing? Yeah. And then along with that, that's an avenue that you can use to share the gospel as well. But that's another story. But just being the anomaly, bro, like living it that way, not just like we were saying before, someone that's so caught up in, I gotta talk like a leader, or I gotta, get the pregame speeches. I gotta, get on someone when they mess up. But you don't hold yourself accountable,
right.
But good. You're not doing nothing different than the rest of the team is doing. So it's like, how can you be the leader in that way? So for me, it's like, it's about your being before anything else. That's like, good. Who are you going to be before you start trying to be a leader? Like,
that's good.
No matter if there was a captain or not on the team, would the team look at you differently than they look at another teammate? Like, would they see you and be like,
there's something different about
him.
That's good.
Without the title or not, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's good.
That's
real good.
Hey, bro.
Because I mean, honestly, as a believer,
you can't tell, bro. Huh? I said I miss team sports. You can't tell, bro. I miss that job.
They're like, no, I don't know about that guy. but seriously though, I think but the way we this is perfect. Like, the way we get there is by looking at. I mean, it's literally
our example.
Leader. We have to look at we have to look at somebody. Yeah. To teach us that, somebody that we can, like, that helps us walk in that. And it's just like, I mean, obviously I'm going to bring it back to Jesus.
Got to.
It's like, man, you look at how he led.
Yeah.
I mean,
look how he led, but also just look at how he lived. Like, bro, ain't nobody doing that. No one has done it. No one can or will do it.
Right.
But the effort of trying to live your life a certain way, the life that God desires for us, the purpose that he has, first of all, it's for our best interests. Mm-hmm. It's for our success and our elevation, but a lot of times we get caught up in other things. But at the same time, like you said, like, it's just different.
It's different. Like, Jesus, he suffered not for, like, he did it for us. Like, he laid his life down for us.
I feel like that's what we be forgetting sometimes. Like, that was his leader. Like, he was being the epitome of a leader in the moment of taking our sins to that cross and dying for us, because we deserve that.
Right. And it goes back to what we were saying in the beginning. It's like, man, he did that. It's like, because he wants success. He loves us
for the teammates
that much.
Yeah.
So it's like, now, are you going to be perfect when you lead your team? No. You know what I'm saying? There's only one perfect person, but it's like, man, when you look at the qualities of Jesus, he, like you said, who he was, number one, the point you were talking about, like, who are you going to be? And then He talked when he needed to talk.
And when he needed to talk, he definitely was saying stuff too.
Exactly. And then, but then
People
also,
listen.
When he needed to be quiet, he was also quiet.
Very true.
You know, like he could have, like, I think about when he was getting questioned before they sent him to the cross. Like he was like, "Is it?" I can't recall it word from word, but paraphrasing, you know, was it Pilate?
One of them cats.
They questioned him, and they were like Jesus could have sat there and be like, he could have gave a whole list of like, boom, but he was like, "What you like? I'm he." You know what I'm saying? Like that was like his exactly. Like. That's what you say. You know what I mean? It was just like, that's okay. And it's just like.
But then again, he knew why he was here.
He knew why he was here.
That purpose. No matter because you see, when was it, the Garden of Gethsemane when he was praying? Mm-hmm. Like, you could see the heart. Jesus was like, if there's any other way. Yeah. Like, let this cup pass from me.
Please.
Because he knew what he was about to go through. But the thing is, it's just so crazy to think about. Like, he knew what he was finna go through for us. He knew how bad it was gonna be for him.
That's good.
He knew he didn't deserve it.
Right.
He prayed about it.
Right.
God was like, "Nah, you gotta do what you gotta do."
He was there for.
He knew what he was there for, and he still went through it.
Hey.
Because of the benefit it would give to us. Because
Exactly.
Jesus was perfect. Like,
right.
It's not like he had to go through it so that he'd be good too.
Right.
He was already good.
He had the interest. Back to the Philippians, like he had the interest of
everyone else.
You know, to the point of dying on a cross.
That humility, bro.
You gotta humble yourself.
And if Jesus can be humble,
come on now,
and you can't, what have you done?
Right.
Like,
no, that's good.
Like for real. Like what we talking? What we even talking about? Like practice? I just playing. But like, come on, bro. Like what?
We talking about practice.
Like this is Jesus,
right?
The Son of God.
Yeah. So
I humble himself.
Yeah. So I would say, like, man, if you really want to know how to lead your team, like, first, if you are a believer, like, you got to look at the life of Jesus.
Got to.
Now, we're not saying be like him, but there are some qualities that Jesus had. It was like, man, we can walk in that.
100%.
We can walk in sacrifice. We can walk in serving. We can walk in loving others. We can walk in all those things. Is it going to be perfect? No. But it's like, man, you know, that we're taking a step. We're taking a step. And then it's just like, man, practical things like we just talked about. Like, you know, the relationship. Did the team like you? Did they see they care about you? Do you have a passion for the sport? Yeah. You know, do you love it? Are you putting your maximum effort? Yeah. You know, and then, like, are you making people's lives easy? You know, are you serving? Are you tapping into those qualities or those roles on your team, whoever you are? Yeah. You know, so I think, like, man, it's a beautiful blend of, like, okay, you can take Jesus out. That's still going to make you a good leader. Yeah. When you put Jesus in, that's going to make you a good leader, and you're going to impact lives. Exactly. Like, literally. Yeah. Because then people can look at you and go like, man, why are you doing this? Yeah. And I just care about the team. You can sit there and go like, man, because I know somebody
who did the same thing for me.
Who did the same thing for me. Who you talking about?
In a real way, not no just me playing the game.
Exactly. Now you have a kingdom impact. Now you really leading.
Boy, episode 8.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the last episode, bro. It's been a ride, bro. It's been a ride.
How do I lead my team?
Dang, man. We flew through this thing, but it's been good. I ain't gonna hold you. I've enjoyed every second recording. These things have been preaching to me, bro.
Facts.
Like, every single one.
Facts.
I felt like was something that I needed personally.
I'm gonna leave out of here going like, man, how can I serve others? How can I love others? How can I, like, even though I'm in a spot of leadership, still I gotta die to myself every day. I still gotta put the interests of others ahead of mine. Yeah. So even this right here is very practical, you know. For sure. Nah, that's good stuff, man. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all listening and watching it. This has been episode 8.
Episode 8, The Anomaly, bro. If it's helped you in any way, share that thing.
Please.
We love y'all. Thank you. See y'all season 2, way.